Afternoon, and welcome to this year's virtual Soulmate. My name is Clyde Ellis. This is my wife Yvette, and we are the Ellises. We're what's going on? Oh, sorry, babe. We are proud to bring you this virtual conference. It's just been a great thing, great weekend. Before I go any further, though, I want to give a shout out to Vanden and Jamila for doing such a great job of being our host, man. Just giving it up, really helping everybody, being a part of everybody's group. They were, so much fun. And I tell Yvette, like, that interest that Vanden gave me, and I'm like, I had to look around.
I yelling, hey, yo, Clyde.
I'm like, oh, okay. Is that me? So we appreciate that. So I just want to say thank you guys so much. We're the last for the evening?
For the day, yeah. We have one more day tomorrow. We have some guests on here, so we want to he introduced us, but we are the SoulMates leaders, and we're just super excited that you're here. We hear some single folk in the chat. We excited about that's
welcome,
how you do
welcome.
it, right?
Get this knowledge. Absolutely.
I would have slid in there any day.
Absolutely. So like I said, thank you guys everybody. And like I said, for our new viewers or who are new to SoulMates, like I said, this is just our virtual first time ever.
But SoulMates we've been doing some virtual things throughout the pandemic. Unfortunately, we had a whole year planned, and for reasons that we all know, we had to cancel a lot of things. Yeah, but we've been meeting online, doing virtual date nights. We've done a home challenge that the wives really love because we got some things done in the house, and we just hid up under doing the virtual challenge. And then we also did the summer romance challenge, which was really nice. We saw some nice things.
I got to go on the website or is it on Instagram?
On Instagram, and you can
check
still
it
see
out,
the pictures.
So it's a great things.
Man, well, let's get something started.
Okay.
Let's warm them up.
Let's warm them up. So we'll get right to it. So we got a few questions. I'm going to ask for my beautiful wife here. I hope she don't get offended or mad. But
no, and you guys can play at home.
Absolutely,
with your
absolutely.
spouse, right?
Put it in the chat too. You guys can play along.
Well, you don't have to put it in the chat. But, I mean, depending on what the answers are, right?
Right.
So Clyde will ask some questions.
Yes. And I can just pick one.
Let's roll. Let's roll. Let's go.
Here we go. Who wakes up first?
I wake up first in our house. I don't know. You guys discuss amongst yourselves.
How early you wake up? Tell the truth.
4.
She be waiting on Jesus. Is what I like to say.
It's my time. It's my time with God. It gotta happen. It got to happen.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I am a 4, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock if I'm just like totally tired.
Okay. Who made the first move?
You guys answer that amongst yourself because this is the greatest debate of our entire marriage.
I'm asking you though.
I think you made the first move.
Maybe I did. It's always a story. Y'all gotta. That's another day. We'll come back to that. That's another time.
I would like to believe that he made the first move.
Okay, I'll take. I made the first move. Who's more romantic?
I give that to you.
Is it me?
I give it to you. Yeah, I'll give it to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely you.
Thank you.
And I hope you guys are discussing this with your spouses.
Yes, it's interactive, so you can turn to your spouse, your soulmate, and ask them these same questions. Who's the best driver? Is it best or better? Who's the best driver?
For selfish reasons, I want to say you because I want you to continue to drive. But if I'm speaking honestly, I am.
Okay, well, I'm asking you to speak honestly, but...
Do you agree?
No. No. Jesus has to have the other part of that wheel because there's only be one hand on it. If your wife drive one hand at the bottom of the steering wheel.
Okay, one more.
Okay, one more. This is. Who's more likely to say something embarrassing in their sleep?
You.
Yep. I talk in my sleep.
I always kid and say you can never do anything wrong because it would come out in your sleep. So we hope you guys warmed up a little bit, had a little fun. I wish we had done a double date.
Well, who'd you invited though?
I don't know. Let me think about it.
Well, who is that?
Who is that?
Well.
Oh,
well, looky.
Look at here.
One of our favorite couples, the Porters. How y'all doing? Good to see y'all. Y'all ain't have nothing else to do on a Friday? Okay, date night.
We heard you guys were having date night, so we just wanted to crash. We know Yvette be all deep. Clyde, you trying to balance her out. You know, all the things. We just figured we'd come in.
Cook.
I mean, where's the food?
About that.
Well, we just thought the table was so. You know how people set their tables and they don't really have.
But my wife, we
really
providing
pretty.
food for thought is what they said.
Food
for thought. Like, we got that.
There we
We got
go.
that
I didn't
thinking.
come to see the table.
Look at some flowers.
Yeah, but
That's
Well,
hilarious.
we're glad you guys came.
okay.
Well, these are the porters.
These are the porters. You gonna
So
introduce
you-
them?
Porters.
I mean,
I am
it's
Naila.
Naila and Marty.
Let them
too.
introduce themselves. Go ahead.
Yeah. Tell the people something about yourself. How long you been married? Where you come from?
We've been married for about 37 years. No, we've been married 18 years. I am Marshawn Porter. This is my wife, Naila Porter. We just like to have a good time, man. Obviously, we like to eat. Not tonight, but you know.
Thanks,
like,
Ellis's.
yeah.
Okay, so one thing that we have in common with the porters.
Yes, is that in regards to SoulMates, we're both leaders. You were leaders prior to us, so we kind of, how do you say, what's the word you say?
Yeah, prior.
Prior,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
prior to us.
They were leaders before us. So, Naila, I know you and I have talked a lot about ministry, doing ministry as a couple. It's real cute in the
The
beginning.
struggle is so
Like, we gotta
real.
do this together, right? And it is beautiful.
It is.
And it's a God sent opportunity to do ministry together with
Absolutely.
your spouse. But can you tell me a little bit about your experiences, some of the ebbs and flows, the ups and downs?
Sure. So we were appointed SoulMates leaders like really early in our time here at Christ Center. Like we were, I think, only here for a few months. And Pastor so graciously came up to us and said it was not a request, right?
That sounds like him.
Yes, absolutely. But it gave us an opportunity to kind of get in and get to know people. Because like I said, we were new, so we didn't. Everyone here is so friendly anyway, but we got to know people on a different level.
It's definitely a great way to fellowship.
Absolutely,
I definitely know that I've
yes.
been able to talk to more couples and reach a lot
People
of
you wouldn't normally talk to.
Exactly. And at that time, it was like 2013, maybe 14. There were so many engagements and weddings going on, and
We're a part of
they
it.
were, yeah, exactly.
It was a little explosion here.
It was
It
quite.
was something to be a
I was
part
like,
of.
what did we come into? Like, it was
A little
just
weird.
marriage, the engagements, the marriages, the babies.
The
It was a baby
babies.
boom going on. It was
Yeah.
just a beautiful time to be a part of this
We
community.
heard a pastor say he called it the banner year. He
Yeah.
said when you kind of,
called
right?
it the
That's
banner
he
year?
he
Yeah.
used the term.
Not our pastor. We heard someone else.
Someone else's,
Oh,
yeah, but
okay.
he used
It's
it as a banner
year
year
when
where this is
things
something you can
really
say
are-
like, oh my, we got married, we had kids and things like
Nice.
that. And
Yeah.
so yeah.
Okay. I wasn't thinking about Pastor too with his hat because he would put on, Sunday
like the baseball
mornings,
team.
people get
Yeah,
engaged
yeah.
and he would
Gotcha.
put on his hat and talk about who got engaged. But it was just, like I said, it was a really exciting time for us to come in, not only to have joined the church, but to also be heading a ministry. And so we had the opportunity to really, be a part of a growth of a community here. Not to say that you guys didn't already have it, but where we came. But I think as it pertained to the married couples, it seemed like there had maybe been a bit of a lag and it needed to be picked up. So that was a really good thing that we were able to kind of infuse some thoughts that we had. Pastor and elder were super supportive, as well as just the married couples and the engaged couples. Everybody just kind of jumped in, and it was just a beautiful thing to see the community grow. One of the challenges, though, that I could say for us personally, though, is, and what I did not expect, was just how difficult it was to get on the same page, kind of prioritizing what God's agenda for this was, because it really initially was like a social group.
Yeah.
It wasn't, Yvette used to lean on me heavily when we would have side conversations like, well, don't you think you guys should, this girl love a panel. You guys should do this and do
She love a team. She love a team.
Yes.
Yeah, she
No,
love a team.
I like
a panel.
serious. I do have a serious tip that I always want to have some Bible.
Deep.
Like, can we have a Bible study with it? And she's like, no, it's just social.
Right.
Just
We would be
fellowship. I'm
planning like date night. She'd be like, so what scripture y'all
Yes.
gonna talk about?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
We're
There's been a few
not.
times I had to tell her, like, let's be light with this one. We like, let's, she
Right.
want the deep dive.
I
Yes.
have a question though, since I'm so deep.
Here we
My
go.
question is, while you guys were getting to know folks and kind of exploring what that looks like what was the interaction with you and your husband, or you and Naila? What kind of challenges
yeah,
did you
would you
run
guys
into
experience?
with each other? Because we ran into challenges
Yeah.
with each other.
For sure. There were plenty. So again, it was just kind of prioritizing what needed to be discussed, or I mean, I think there was also a shying away from things that we were dealing with personally. Where it would come down with the word, where it would come through, like whether I was reading a book, where we were just preparing, right? You kind of seek out stuff when you're running a marriage ministry that you probably could have avoided, that we probably could have avoided, but it's like, nope, it's right here in your face. You're going to talk to other people about it, so you got to deal with it in your house too. And that wasn't always easy. No. So.
I would say for me, early on, my wife is church. She's,
what does that mean? Let's unpack
she was
that.
Born in the water.
What does church mean?
She was church. She was born in the baptismal pool. Jesus, sprinkled water on her. All that. But no, early on, I didn't understand what it took to run a ministry, right? To be a part of a ministry and really put into it and
pray about
I want to say, what'd you say?
Nothing. Pray about things.
Nothing.
He don't beat me, y'all. He don't
just getting into it, and the way you should, and taking it serious the way you should. I just didn't. That was my first time in a ministry, right? So it was like eye opener for me to like really know that you have to study, you have to be in your word, like being on the same page, praying. That was a real. It was a real test,
right?
For me, it was a real test for our marriage, and ultimately, it brought out things that needed to be brought out in us and in our marriage.
So that imbalance, let's just stick there just for 1 minute. That imbalance that we talk about, you said your wife was churched, and I believe a lot of couples actually experience that, where one person may have been in church their entire life, right? And then you marry someone that's like, no, I'm good with Sunday. I'm good with reading my word, but you want to like dive in. And really, soulmates, of course, to do ministry as a couple does not mean you're leading soulmates, right? It means like us together taking on work for God and really seeking God for doing something in his kingdom. And while we have our individual
I was gonna say, just for me, like I think we mentioned that it was that not one to mirror my wife. Like my wife go hard, like you know what I mean, and I want to help her, but once again, my wife was up at 4.
Well, and even listen to the language. I want to help her. I was like, no. I want you to run for Jesus on your own. It wasn't you helping me.
Right. So I had to realize
I'm doing my work for
Jesus.
Yeah. I want my husband to really embrace his work for God too. I mean,
exactly.
So it was just even the language that we used, was kind of sometimes an argument, because he was like, I'm trying to help you. I'm like, and I'm trying to help you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So that's what I mean. I realized that it's not going to look like Yvette's. I have my own. I have my own things that I should be doing that I need to do. So I think that, and I felt the imbalance. I know I did. I won't say I think. I felt the imbalance because, like you said, you literally seeing your wife go and do the things. She's really going out of her way and giving the extra mile to make sure that things are run correctly. She got her scripts. Her scriptures.
Well, I know she did.
She have a script. I'm sorry. Her scriptures. But so I know, like I said, I could not mirror my wife. I don't move like that. I wish I could.
I would say, as a wife, we are whoever the person in the relationship is, because it's not always the wife, right? It could be the husband that grew up in the church, right? But even with that, I had to really seek God about my approach. Right, because just because that's an imbalance, it didn't give me right to attack him, and demand of him what to do. And sometimes when we're zealous for God and we have all these ideas and we watch way too much TV, we have these ideas about what doing ministry together would be. If soulmates never came up, we still had our marching orders to do work for God. Right, we're thankful that we have this, because it kind of revealed to us that whether you have this or not, God is expecting you to do work. But everybody won't have the opportunity to be a soulmates leader. So for our viewers, that leading soulmates not going to be your thing. That doesn't mean we still can't have an active conversation about what we're deciding to do.
Absolutely.
As a couple
within your own home. It's just not like you said. We start here, but it's at home. Like I think we always talk about that, is like those conversations, those discussions are going to be at home. So it all starts there. So
I also think there's opportunities like outside, like you say, leading a ministry isn't the only way. We have couples that we interact with that we've known for years, that look to us. And you can I think about times where like posting a picture on Instagram and it's like, oh my God, you guys are couple goals and you're this and you're that. And so perfect. You make it look easy. And it's like, oh no, if that's what I'm doing, I don't want it to look like that.
Right.
And
She's not perfect.
you're not either.
Come here.
No, but the reality of it, lies. Lies. Yes, hashtag lies. Put that in the chat. Hashtag lies if it's perfection.
Lies. If he tells you it's perfect.
No, I don't want it. But no, the reality of it is that I try to tell people this all the time when they do make comments or statements like that. Like, if it does look easy, it is 100% because God is at the head of it, first of all. And
social
secondly,
is trickery, though.
it is trickery of the enemy.
We want to share God's beauty, right?
Yes.
Because I love my husband. I love a good picture. Everybody know that. But I love putting in there like, this just a picture, y'all. And this was a good day. We have our
and it might have a filter on it. So it really, listen.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure I didn't want to take that picture.
No, Clyde, your face half the time be like, yeah. But no, it really is a thing of like conveying that God is the head of our marriage, and I try not to sound insulting when I say this, but honestly, without God as the center, I probably wouldn't be jonesing for my husband or even like him half the time, right? Because
and I feel like we've had couples kind of reach out to us based upon that. So. I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, like people see the pictures and things like that. Excuse us.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, guys.
We've had that experience too, where a couple have seen pictures and they see these groups and we're getting together and they're like, "Oh, can you guys come hold a conference at our house?" No, you can come to church.
A whole conference.
We can set something up. We got some great people, some soulmates.
But that's the thing with soulmates. I think it's a great opportunity for members to connect and we do things together. But it is very attractive. So we do encourage people to share with other people, and that's we were talking about it in Empowerment Hour a couple of Sundays ago. Those are like micro ways that you can witness, right?
Absolutely.
Posting your pictures, sharing with others what you're doing with your church. But that is not it.
Yeah.
And leading a ministry, that is not it. Like, God calls us to do more. So I wanted to read the scripture really quick before we went on. And it actually is our scripture for the year. Our theme was more than married. Okay. And our supporting scripture was Micah 6:8. Know, O people, the Lord has told you what is good, and this is what he requires of you, to do what is right, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. And that sounds really simple, but really when you put some application to that, there is some work that is required to go behind that, right? So I think for married people, you start off with the engagement, then you have the wedding, right? And then for some people it may be the baby or it may be the house, and it's all these like worldly milestones, right? But we have not yet went back to God and said, okay, now we dedicating this marriage to you. What do you have for us to do? And sometimes that's long down the road, right? Praise God for soulmates, because that was our wake-up call, like, oh, you're doing everything, but now you, Yvette, you doing your thing. Clyde may be doing his thing, witnessing and talking to folks, but he and I purposefully sitting down, deciding how we're going to use our marriage to worship, how we're going to use our marriage. People dedicate their babies back to God, right? And you put all this work in, you bring your child to church, you do all the things. Well, you have to have that conversation, because you'll look up and you'll have just been going through the motions.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. Absolutely.
So before we go on, what would you tell people, Clyde, Marshawn? What would you tell people, like, your wife want to get involved with ministry? Now we're having this deep conversation at home. Your wife want to have this conversation about doing ministry, not being the soulmates leaders, but like, let's do something, babe. Like, let's do something. Yeah. What would you tell the husband that just is naturally feeling resistant to that?
Well, we have to start with prayer. It starts with prayer. Start with prayer and have a willing heart. I know when you asked me, when we talked about this, we have the willingness to do it, to actually. Okay.
But what if that's not there? Go back to prayer.
Pastor said you can get more bees with honey, so maybe you should rub them on the back or something.
So are you saying like, even if you're not feeling it, simply because that's something your wife want to do, like you should entertain the idea?
I would say honestly, I mean,
That's how we kind of.
I mean, that's how I but I'll say yes. That's how it was for me. But I want to say, as I got into it and I grew and understanding what we're doing and what our responsibility is, and I have this time. I didn't have that. Jesus talked to me, moment came to me and said, Clyde, this is. But I felt it in my heart. I wanted to do it. I definitely want to do anything to support my wife and back my wife. And helping other married couples, it helped me. When you guys did it, I learned from that. And I tell Yvette to this day, every time we come up with something, I got to take a minute and be like, yo, because that's pertaining to me. Like, that's pertaining to us.
We try to put something together, and he's like, nah, I need
now, hold on. Wait a minute.
Like,
look, like.
It's all up in our bedroom. Yeah.
Well, you want to take a moment.
No, but so that happened. So I've just learned that myself. I've grown into the role. It just came with me. The more I wanted to do it, and I seek to do it, not just for myself, but pleasing to the Lord, making sure that, because we really are, we have his people, we have his couples, we have these people here listening to us, looking at us right now. So I want to make sure that we were giving them the best. Give it all.
What would you suggest to a husband, Marshawn?
I would suggest
he's fighting
kind of
against
the same thing Clyde's saying. I mean, you want to be open. I think a lot of times going into stuff, at least for me, going into things, my first reaction is, if it's something I don't want to do, I'm just like, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like that's not my thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like Brandon is about preaching, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry.
We heard that.
But no, I think at some point that conviction comes, right? Like that conviction comes, and when that comes, then obviously that's God, right? That's God, like
Don't have
tugging on
nothing
you,
to do with your wife.
Yeah, like
Right.
bro, what are you doing, brother?
God be calling you bro?
God calls me bro, and I say yes, bro.
He got that personal.
We
What's
cannot
up, bro?
tell Marshawn
My boy.
how
My boy.
communicate.
My boy.
And I say yes, Jesus. But yeah, so just being open, to it, trying new things. I don't like to be in front of people. Like I don't like I don't like crowds. I don't like speaking to crowds. Right? It makes me very nervous. Right?
Can I tell something?
Tell me something
While you're talking.
Or tell them something.
Because the other thing, he also doesn't like, I don't think you'll mind this, but he gets, if it's something like personal, he'll get emotional, and he doesn't like to be emotional in front of people. Or he doesn't like to cry while talking.
Yeah.
That really doesn't
Because your lip quiver and all that. I grew up on 6th Ave, man. You're not supposed to be doing that.
No lip quivering.
No
here.
lip quivering, none of that, man.
But I mean, that's
that
good
vulnerability.
Jesus that will bring that kind of emotion to the forefront.
And that's the thing that I think has been like a wall with Marshawn, is that Jesus is the one who can get in there with him and bring the lip quivering and the tears
but I've
and the
done
things.
it since I was little.
But he can do, I think you were better one-on-one with people. So when people came with like challenges or wanted to have conversations about marriage and how to get through certain things, like I've heard him on the phone or seen him talking to people. And I can see him in that capacity.
Like acknowledging, we talk about acknowledging that there's an imbalance, but also acknowledging that there's different strengths.
Absolutely.
Right? And some folks are better one-on-one.
Yes.
I'm much one-on-one, I go dead behind the eye.
100%
you do. I get
do.
bored really quick. My attention span is nothing.
Like, what you want to
So, like,
eat?
you're really into what's going on, and I'm like,
You crying, but are you hungry?
Yeah. I'm like, you should talk to
here?
Clyde, and then we can work it out. And so acknowledging that instead of me saying no and doing more damage, I've acknowledged that I can improve in that area, and he's acknowledged that he can improve in some areas, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I could be a little more robotic.
Yeah, we're very different. He calls me robotic, but that's
We were talking about this when we were
just
doing.
had a
She was like, "Are you nervous?" And I was like, "I'm a little bit." And she was like, "Cause I'm just like nervous." I was like, "But it's a flow thing. You have to, just let it flow."
We just flow differently. Yeah.
Different.
I'm
But it
flow
works.
like, what does it say? Go by the book. He flow like, I'm just gonna wild out and start laughing. I'm like, that's not on the script. So okay. Well, before you all go, I just want to make sure we hit everything we were gonna talk about.
I think we did.
Yeah. Oh, really quick. Can we explore some different ways that couples can, do ministry? I mean, you have the regular ways. Some people like to feed the homeless. God may put. I know a couple that did prison ministry. People have different things that they may want to do. But when we're talking about ministering to other married couples, what are some things like fellowships?
I said dinner. I think we chose to have dinner, not tonight, clearly. But
Not tonight.
we will have dinner. But
cold.
we've had couples over to the house for dinner. We went out. If you have any things in common, I feel like we've tried to find things with certain couples.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Different
been a good thing too in the church. Like I think the building of the community has been so beautiful to watch the community at large grow, but then to see like couples connect with each other, right? That it didn't just have to be, oh, if there's not a SoulMates event, then we can't hang out. Like we see a lot of double dates, quad dates, like people, I think there's full on like small gangs. It's a real thing, and it's
We
beautiful.
together, whether you
Together.
Yes.
And I think that because of the larger community, like people were able to see, or I know we're all about organic matches, right? Like we don't love forcing anything, and we're also a good time couple.
Right.
So, did you shake your head?
No.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, I think we had opportunities to figure out like, oh, okay, we could vibe. Like it's a vibe, you know what I mean?
And that's a starting place, right?
Yes.
Because the ministry actually happens when we get to talking about God.
That is the thing.
And I know we've hung out lots, and some nights it's not ministry. Sometimes we just hanging out. We have a good time. It's fellowship, right?
Absolutely.
And not to say that we don't get anything out of that, but I think when we're ministering to each other or ministering to another couple, we're actually talking about God. So we don't want people to get that confused. Like,
exactly.
we doing ministry and we hang out with couples.
Yes.
If we're not talking about Jesus, if we're not talking about his impact on not just our marriages, on our lives, if we're not creating those avenues to have conversation and moving folks closer to Christ, then that's not ministry.
That is not
I'm firm in that because I love hanging out, but every time I hang out, I'm not doing ministry.
Right.
So when you're creating your marriage communities, that's wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, and necessary. I believe. I don't know where we would be without a marriage community. We've had one our entire marriage, but
it's a neat thing you should have.
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and somebody that you can be transparent with, that you can be open with, where you're not walking around brand protecting, because that gets you nowhere. Somebody who could speak life into your marriage. I think it's also important for the couples to kind of be cohesive together. Like if Clyde and Marshawn wouldn't be able to chop it up and like be real with each other in that regard, but me and Yvette can't, like, I don't know, you'll ebb and flow with different couples and you'll find that connection.
I also feel like if Clyde and I have a disagreement, or argument, or things get really rough, I need to know that the people that he's talking to love me. Okay, and you're gonna send him right back home. Okay, you're gonna tell him I was right. No, you
don't take a break. No, you might want to move out.
No, that's why I don't reach out to nobody.
But you want to believe while you're building your marriage community, you want to believe that the people that if you do go to them for godly counsel, that they actually love the marriage, right? Yes, they love marriage, and they love your marriage.
Yes. And they love Jesus, and they know him.
And they're going to give you God, right? And I think that's the beautiful thing that I see, not only, with us, but with other couples, we really helping people through things together.
The question I always get is that, so do you guys hang out with other married people? Get that a lot. I had an older gentleman ask me, like, so do you have, like, a circle of married friends? I said, yeah, I do, actually. We do. I mean, my church, but, even my personal friends, we circle of married folks. We have some
single friends that are like, as soon as we get married, we want to hang out. And I'm sure other soulmates, your friends have, as soon as I get married, we want to hang out with, not even us, with your church.
But I think the other thing, that takes me back though to the social media will have you jacked up though, right? Yeah. Is that the pictures look nice, they are beautiful, but you got to know in the midst of you got 4, 5, 6 couples, everybody's cheesing. There are the seasons that come where you don't just be the person that's going to be able to show up in a photo. You don't want to just now she want a photo. You don't want not just for the photo. Literally, what are you bringing to the table too? So as we talk about ministry, as we talk about preparing yourself, arming yourself with the word, getting in there, and being able to speak life into another couple, that is ministry.
Amen.
That is, and it's something that we
outside the church too.
Outside the walls of the church, because that's our pastors.
Church left the building.
The church
it
left
literally
the building. So not even, Christ Center, we just did an A1 job of building the marriage community up here. But really, taking it out and sharing it with other couples. You know, we always have each other. It's just a safety net we have here. Yeah. And when you join, you're welcome to be a part of it.
Come on, people,
come on. But till then, you know, it's a beautiful thing to be able to take what we learn about God, what we learn about marriage, what we learn about each other, right, out and help somebody. And really, the power in two. Like, when you think about the couples in the Bible that really did work, they weren't necessarily leading the ministry, right? You have Abraham and Sarah. Like, things were happening where the wife was supporting the husband, or, you know, God spoke. You still have to have someone praying for you. And I used Chosen Women before we did SoulMates. I led Chosen Women. Well, yeah, I led Chosen Women, but my husband was constantly praying for me, was constantly, you know, he heard the good, the bad, the ugly, you know, my brainstorming ideas. That was with him. Some stuff they saw, it was really Clyde idea, you know, because I've talked his ear off about it.
That off. You
So even if you're not at the point where we're hand in hand doing ministry, you know, even the support around doing ministry, which is telling folks about Jesus, right? Even the support around doing that, if your spouse is really taking that on to another level, or starting something, or really want to get something off the ground, it's different ways we can support each other other than, you know, taking a couple out. So what we really want to do is just make sure that lens is wide open for all the many ways that God can really show us and lead us. And if you don't know what to do, then pray about it and talk to some other couples that have done some things. A lot of our couples in our church have done ministry together. I mean, I can think of a few that's, you know, on Sundays they're never sitting together because they're both working, you know. Be feeling bad, like I want them to sit together, but they're always working.
I don't begin to sit with my husband because he be in the media booth.
I know. I advocate.
Yeah, I know.
I advocate to sit with Clyde.
I think a good something for the couples out there, something that you guys can do outside the walls, is when you're at the grocery store, just walk up to a couple and hug them.
We're not condoning random hugs.
During the Rona?
Not amid COVID right now.
Not after post-COVID.
This is why.
No hugs.
No hugs.
Yeah.
But
it's not
but I don't think it's anything wrong. I don't think it's anything wrong with a little randomness every now and then. If you run into a couple.
Look, if you're on Facebook, you have a couple you haven't seen in a while, they just got married or something like that. I'd go that route.
Send them a virtual hug.
Yeah, you can send them a virtual invite. We ain't out here randomly hugging. Hey, come here. No, that's not
right.
So let's see. Fellowship, couples, Bible studies. You can host one, a couples Bible study. Choose a couple to connect with. I know our Alliance leader, Kiana, forces us. No, she really asks us to choose someone that we really want to pour into. And that actually has been a beautiful process. Check in with other married couples, build a marriage community, find a common interest. So if it's feeding the homeless, if it's giving money to something in particular that you want to see grow, our teaching, whatever your thing is. I'm just saying, have the conversation. Don't leave that just something that's wide open. We talk about having non-negotiables in our marriage all the time, and we have 3, and I love to share this.
Please share them.
Okay,
I've heard them before, but give it to the people who may not have heard them.
Get a refresher.
You know about the 3.
Well, because
you better
because
bring
it
on
happens
that
so well. Because it happens so well, we don't even talk about it anymore.
Come on, run them, E. Run them.
Our
What are the 3?
I've been doing good.
Have always been worship, sex, and money. Those 3 things that we don't really argue a lot about. Because they just gonna happen. They just gonna happen. I when we got married, remember we said we don't want to argue about these things.
Right.
Even though they come up time to time.
For sure.
But they not gonna be deal breakers because we
know what it is.
hitting the mark here.
Yeah. Right.
And now really I want to add one more, which is don't look like that. You
got another one?
Yeah, that's new to me too. We all find out.
But doing ministry together, like I really. It keeps us grounded in doing work, not just going to church.
And
not
connected.
And us constantly, while we dreaming about our house that we want, while we dreaming about the career that we want, I want to dream up what God wants us to do in his kingdom, not only individually, but together. We are more than married. We're not just married to be married.
See how she threw that in there? That more than married.
My theme there.
That was her thing. That was
we're more than married.
Thank you, babe.
So I just really want soulmates to have that conversation?
I think it's good too to think about it pragmatically, because I think when you throw out suggestions about like how or ways, right, that could still sound like a daunting list to a lot of people. Like, what does it look like to identify a couple? Like, while it may seem simple to us because we're used to interacting with people, for someone who doesn't do it, it can feel like, but what does that even look like? So that's a big thing. I know another thing that we've done outside of just leading soulmates at our church, we also are foster parents, and that has been a wonderful opportunity for us.
And you call that ministry?
It is ministry,
right?
100%. Like God.
Well, I didn't mean like you call that ministry.
Yeah.
I mean like that actually is something that you and your husband took on.
Yes, for sure. To be able to, and it's resulted in a whole adoption happening, right? But we started all over. But the beautiful thing that has happened with the 17 children who've come through our home over the last 3 years is we've been able to pray over them. We've been able to expose them to a community that prays for them.
Love.
It has been so much love, and
yeah,
it's
you
such a
guys show
natural,
so much
I tell you about how much I love organic things. It has been such a natural and organic process. The love and appreciation that parents have, just saying, like, people who don't even believe in God. It's been amazing. Like, one, I won't say the name of the child, but for them to start their interaction with us and say, we don't believe in God, we don't this, they had a problem with us bringing their baby to church, but then to turn around and then say, we are so grateful to God for everything that you guys did for our family, that they were praying for us. It was like, whoa, you know what I mean? Just to see that evolve in just such a short time, and to be able to continue to have them on our prayer list, and to even discuss with people who ask, like, how's so-and-so? It's just a beautiful opportunity.
And I think you guys have encouraged other people that may have had that on their heart or on their mind to do it, but to actually be able to watch another couple take on ministry in a different way, maybe a ministry that I would not have ever thought of that, right? Like as my work for God. And you know, you guys take it on, you guys love on these babies, and it's a whole different world over here in the porterhouse, okay? We like, that's a real ministry.
Just don't wait till your kids are 37 to go and adopt infants.
I feel like that was what has helped, is because our kids are old. Go ahead.
So,
but
we really appreciate you sharing that as well. Because that's what we're talking about. Like really seeking God for how he wants you to pour back into his people as a couple. This was a good conversation.
Great conversation.
I'm so glad we crashed our little party.
Yes.
It's very good.
So listen,
now we're going to leave because I'm hungry.
Yeah, because the
And
McDonald's
y'all didn't
down
have
the
no
street,
food.
there's a
We didn't
Chipotle
have
no
over
food.
to the left.
Yeah.
You know, be careful crossing.
Y'all don't log out though, but they're leaving.
Yeah, we out.
We leaving.
Thank you
We
guys.
out.
So
Bye,
much.
guys.
That's
I'ma
the
drop my mic.
porters.
Love y'all.
Thank you guys so
Bob.
much.
Drop.
See you guys later.
Thank you guys. It's the Porters, y'all. Great couple.
I mean, that was a good conversation.
Great conversation.
Yeah, and I think with ministry, you know, we are also open to however God wants to do ministry. Want us to work for him, right? And we've been doing SoulMates for 3 years. I wish we would have invited another couple. Like we should have invited.
Okay. Well, who's that?
Well, who is that?
Well, hello.
Austins.
We have the Austins. How you guys doing?
Hi.
We're good. How are you?
Good.
Looking lovely as usual.
What do you all? We miss you.
Glad
Man,
to
we
be
miss
here.
You
y'all
want to
too.
introduce them? Let's give them a
I'm
big.
going to let them
like-
introduce themselves. Mr.
No, I
Austin.
okay. I wanted to tell them how great y'all are, but go
I'm going
ahead.
to tell them about that. I just want to introduce
Go ahead.
themselves. We're going to get into all that.
I'm Cornelio Austin.
And I am Sherry Austin.
Yes.
We are the Austin.
They are the Austins.
And
there
there
it is.
you have it.
There we are.
So let's.
But more than anything, they are dedicated members at the Arm Church
Yes.
and faithful soulmates. You guys have been married how long?
13 long.
Oh my goodness! Y'all got sound effects with that. long years.
Right.
But we
That's
were just at
beautiful.
your 10-year. I wouldn't say reunion, but
Anniversary. It seems like it
yeah,
was yesterday.
anniversary. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been 3 more years.
3 more
and you
years.
guys have 3.
3 children.
Okay.
Almost 20.
So one out of there.
8 and one out of there.
One
yeah.
out of there.
8 and 3, almost
Wow,
4.
wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
Well, in case you guys don't know, I would list what they do at church, but they do everything. So
I do have a list here, babe.
Oh,
You want me to
okay.
call off a few things? Should we say what they don't do?
That may
That
be
ain't on
easier.
here.
They-
Yeah, that's
well,
the other
they
question.
don't do
What they
soulmates.
don't do. Okay, they don't do SoulMates.
Unless,
Yeah.
unless
Or yet.
we have a surprise for you guys.
Yes.
Are you ready to drop the ball?
Let's do it.
We love y'all,
We
but
love
we
y'all
believe
so
God
much.
is moving, right?
Right.
And we're obedient.
We are very, very
So
obedient.
we want to introduce you to your new SoulMates leaders,
The
the
Austins.
Austins.
You didn't
Yeah.
tell me.
Look, that communication, that
We have
communication.
the new
went on.
Marshawn Porter here.
You didn't tell
It's all
me.
enough room for one of them. We can't have
Right,
two more.
We don't have room for that.
I'll behave. I'll behave.
Yeah, we
That's so funny.
have two. We have room.
That's really exciting.
We are excited.
I mean,
excited.
we're excited to move on to do something new, but we're excited to leave SoulMates. It's such a robust ministry, right? And
Yes.
it's always popping. The only reason it slowed down a little bit is because of COVID.
That's it.
Only
And we
reason.
still jump online and have a good time.
Yes.
We do.
So, like, what are your, like, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about taking on SoulMates? What are your plans?
I feel that it's a great opportunity. We talked about it and prayed about it and prayed some more. But we feel that it's just another, number one thing for us to do because Corn he's our musician, of course. I won't list what I do.
That's what I said. Like, just
because
what
we'll
don't
be
you
here
do?
for another hour. No, just kidding. But no, with us being married 13 years, we have a lot of married friends. We counsel a lot of married friends, whether they're inside the church or outside the church. So, hey, why not?
So you guys are doing this anyway.
We're doing this anyway.
Yeah.
Right, because with your time, you guys have just been ministering to people anyway,
Yep.
regardless.
This is one not necessarily in Sherry's book as the SoulMates leaders, but she always wants to do something like write a book, do a blog, stuff in that manner. So it's like, well, hey, let's just
Put it together.
blog might be
integrate
great,
those
actually.
things
Yeah.
so that it can all just kind of come together, and whatever the time frame that we do this, we can still continue on in the vision that she has for like life
Yeah.
and marriage as a ministry. So
You guys can definitely put what you guys are going on in the book between your entrepreneur and you guys starting your business, moving into your home,
Yes.
homeschooling the kids. Like
It's
you
a
got,
lot.
you can put a lot in the book. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
No, y'all are
All
doing it
of
right
yeah.
now.
I think the podcast would be great.
No, but we love married people in general. Back 10,
From the beginning,
12
yeah.
years, like from when people say they're engaged, we give them some CDs back when it was 10, 11 years ago. Now it's,
I'll send
I'm
you
sharing
I'll
my,
share
A
my
playlist.
my
vibes.
playlist, but we do that right before they get married to say, hey, make sure your honeymoon is nice. So we've been
Yeah.
doing that for 10, 12 years. And then, of course, we talk to them throughout the years of them being married. So we love love.
No, they do love love. And if you know Sherry, she loves marriage, and that's an important
Absolutely.
part of running SoulMates. Is you have to have the love for married couples. You have to understand what married couples go through, the ebbs and flows. You have to understand when you have imbalances and what to pray for.
Yeah.
We know what it is to really go through some things, and I think as a SoulMates leader, you really have to have a bird's eye view of what's going on, not take stuff personal, really, really working with the married
I'm
couples.
taking my experience that we've had, and it's just always been a learning experience for me. Every experience, every couple, every interaction, our lessons and things like that is always, I don't, like I said, when the Porters were doing it, we've had it. I've always taken it myself. I'm a student. I'm still learning. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna continue to learn. So I always thought that's been a great opportunity for us to keep growing, even as leaders.
Well, I know you guys have like lots of stuff to unpack for 2021 because they come in January. So
That's fast.
Like the president,
yeah,
y'all coming
and
in
I,
with,
I don't know
coming
if
in
we've
with
ever
Biden.
done a
Lighting the camel in 2021.
I know. We're praying 2021, bring it, right?
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
I mean, you probably think you haven't seen them, but they jumped on board even with their yes, with ideas and going.
Yes.
So you think you haven't seen them, but they've been here. They've been here. You just haven't seen their faces. So if you got the email about the calendar and all that stuff,
They working. They moving.
That's
they
them.
moving.
Yeah. So we're excited about 2021. We're excited about you guys. We will definitely be supporting you guys, available
Sure.
to you
We're
all,
here.
and of course praying for you all, along with SoulMates. Nothing really changes other than the leadership. But
And the destination.
and where y'all taking us, right? Where y'all taking us?
Cabo.
So, yeah.
I said Cabo.
We going past Palm Springs. We going to Cabo. Okay.
Tickets are cheap right now.
And look, the way we missed this year's retreat,
We need to make up for
I,
it.
I think we're about ready to go to Cabo.
I told
right?
Corey we got to
Come
go
on.
somewhere. We got to get out of
Let's
here.
go.
Look, we might be going to Cabo with the Austin. So
I'm going.
Hey, you never know. So I don't know about you, but I'm going.
Tune in 2021 to see where SoulMates is
I'll
going
stay
for the
tuned.
retreat. No, so we thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks for
and
having us.
Thank you guys for
sharing the
taking
big
on this.
announcement
Yes,
that
yes,
we
yes,
wanted
yes.
to
We're
share
excited.
with everyone. We're excited. So, babe, before we close out, we've talked a lot about being more than married, and we've talked a lot about ministry, and I want to challenge everyone to continue to have this conversation. This is going to go off and we'll move into the next day, God willing, but this conversation needs to happen.
Absolutely.
It's difficult sometimes because that imbalance just rises right up to the top, But even if you can't think on a grand scale, think very simply about how you can start this move towards God and doing work as a couple. Even if it's, picking some friends. Like, just start that. And if you want to talk more about it, we're still available.
Yep.
The Austins are available, and we can help you come up with those ways. But we want to get outside these walls of the church and bring more couples into the church and closer to God, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just I'm excited for it too. I know you guys are going to really do a great job. I just wanted to thank you again for just taking on this challenge. It was challenging, but like I said, once again, I learned a lot from it. I'm thankful for it. I hope my wife was pleased with my efforts.
We got there.
Wow.
We got there. Prayer.
You guys did
Lots
a great
of
job.
prayer.
So everybody that's on the chat, you guys, if you know that they've done an excellent job, just give them a clap it up inside the chat.
Take them emojis.
Yeah,
Come on.
Thank you guys.
Y'all,
Thank those
hands
emojis.
raised because, they did excellent job, and we would just add to the building blocks, just
Amen.
add on to
going,
what
keep it
they've
going.
done and see where we can, bless up. That's where we going to do
Amen.
our
Have great expectations.
Amen.
Yes,
Uh-oh.
yes.
Wink, wink,
Hey.
wink, wink.
I like that.
All right. Well, SoulMates, we hope you enjoyed this
Thank you guys
conversation,
so
this
much.
candid conversation tonight.
This was fun.
And I hope you continue the dialogue at home with your soulmate.
This was fun.
We love y'all.
Thank you guys so much. We're going to say thank you again to the Austins. Thank you again to the Porters who were here. Thank you for our crew here, everybody who's been working behind the scenes who you don't see. I can call a few names, right?
No,
I can't. I'm
we
going to do it
don't
anyway.
yet.
Mike G on here, Brandon, Mac, S. Porter, all my guys and the ladies doing it. So
He don't
just thank you
listen.
guys so much. So my wife
Good
has said
night.
I get to go off. Good night. We love
Good
you
night,
guys.
y'all.
Until next time.